Got some more good news for Social Security beneficiaries and recipients. Looks like Social Security may not be affected during this debt ceiling agreement. Although the agreement has been made in principle and not officially yet, Social Security recipients' funding looks like is out of that deal, as well as the June payments seem to be on schedule at the moment. So if you're on Social Security expecting those June payments at the moment, doesn't seem like there's going to be a delay, but there may be a small risk, which I'll get into. So when it comes to President Biden, as you can see here, Biden assures retirees their Social Security won't be affected by the debt ceiling, even though the debt ceiling agreement isn't official yet. The agreement is there, but it has not been voted in Congress. One of the worst things that could happen to a Social Security recipient is paying into it their entire lives, working decades, contributing to the economy, contributing to Social Security, expecting to get those payments as a lifeline, and then completely not getting those payments or having any delay. I've seen one of your comments in the comment section below saying it wouldn't just be World War III, it would be World War IV if Social Security recipients did not receive their payments. So I'll go over all the details of what's going on with that debt ceiling deal, with the text from the bill now out, give you some details there. Also, Kevin McCarthy squirming from getting grilled on Fox News about this debt deal. So I'll give you all the details on that and some other important updates as well. We are almost in the clear when it comes to this debt ceiling drama. Looks like an agreement has been made between President Biden and Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House, to get this deal done. Now, if it was only between these two people and it could go through, it would be great. But there's hundreds of other lawmakers that are in the process now who are holding out and may cause some more friction before this June 5th deadline. So McCarthy releases bill to raise debt limit, cut discretionary spending. So there are some cuts in it, but thankfully none to Social Security. So Biden said the agreement, which included cuts to some programs, preserves funding to Medicare, Social Security, and veterans. So that is the good news here. So as you can see here, Biden assures retirees their Social Security won't be affected by the debt ceiling. Now, there are payments going out June 1st and June 2nd. Those are before the deadline. So assuming that the vote doesn't go through on Wednesday, which is the 31st of May, if that doesn't go through, there is a little bit of a buffer until June 5th to get this debt ceiling done. If not done by June 5th, the other June payments, not the first and the second, but other June payments for Social Security could be at risk. So not completely in the clear yet. I'll give you more details as Biden and McCarthy lean on holdouts in both parties to pass debt ceiling deal. Now, in both the Republican and Democrat Party, there are some lawmakers who are saying that they don't like this deal, that their party is getting screwed, either Republican or Democrat, and they are holding out, saying they want a better deal. Now, this could cause a lot of friction. This could delay the process a little longer and mess up potential future Social Security, veterans, Medicare payments, things like that. When it comes to the actual text of the bill, this is the official bill right here. It is 99 pages. Gonna be honest, did not read through it. There are some important details on it, which I'll mention a little bit of what exactly is in this deal. But as Biden and McCarthy tout historic debt ceiling deal to divided Congress. Now, Congress divided on this deal. If it was heck yes, this whole thing would have been done as soon as Biden and McCarthy made this deal. But with all the negotiating in process, they're going to have the big vote on Wednesday. Now, Kevin McCarthy had to give up some things for his Republican Party, which they wanted. And same thing from President Biden's perspective. Democrats and Republicans not getting everything they want, but that's how deals work. You have to negotiate, give and take a little bit. So when it comes to Kevin McCarthy, take a look at how he's being grilled on Fox News about this deal, and he's really trying to sell it hard. You don't want to miss this. Take a look. Watch this whole thing here.
How non-enforceable targets work in Washington. So they say you might have gotten something for a year or two, but after that, there's nothing to it.
No, first of all, watch what the government has done before. They increased it.
Okay, but are they not telling us the truth there?
No, you have a statutory cap on there. We've got to be able to stay in the majority. Then we could have a rule to be able to keep it going forward. The other thing you have here, too, is for the very first time, you have administrative pay-go. We had a president that spent another $1.5 trillion around Congress. That can no longer happen.
Meaning if he takes executive actions.
I'm sorry, what?
Meaning if he takes executive actions, he's got
to cut to be able to go
talk about
forward.
Where he's going to pay for it.
He doesn't have to talk about it. He has to do it. That would have saved us $1.5 trillion in the first 2 years of this presidency. That's a major savings. That has never been in law before, and now it's being put into law. If you look at each movement here, this is a whole new direction. Just think about how this even came to fruition. Normally, you have a 1,000-page bill. This is going to be less than 150 pages. Normally, the country doesn't know about it till after it's passed. No, we'll wait 72 hours. This is worthy of the American people. I want them to read it. I want them to understand it. We only have the majority in one House with a 5-seat majority, with a president who said we would never talk about this, who had Chuck Schumer said this would be a clean debt ceiling, we would just raise it. That's not the case. You've got work requirements to help people out of poverty into jobs. You've got reforms that we can build things, cut the red tape. We cap so the president can't just spend money wildly. We're actually spending less than we spent last year. That hasn't happened in Congress. So maybe it doesn't do everything for everyone, but this is a step in the right direction that no one thought we would be at today.
Let's talk about work requirements, because you all have said it was sort of a red line. Congressman Garrett Graves, one of your top negotiators on this, when he was asked Friday if you guys were going to back off on that, he said, quote, hell no. But the White House, again, that's an area where they're celebrating. They say there are no changes to Medicaid. You referenced SNAP and TANF, and so basically SNAP includes an expansion for veterans and people who are homeless. So there's an expansion there to some extent for some credits. But and the changes that you did get will lift the age and the requirements and those kinds of things, but that they sunset. So they don't last for very long.
You can't tie one Congress to the next. No, they don't. They sunset after 7 years when you go forward. But let's see what the White House doesn't write in there. There's a 12% exemption for every state, and the states are using this to exempt people. We lower that to 8%. We take the age from 49 to 54, so it encompasses more people. What did we exempt? Veterans. I think that's appropriate that veterans get exempted.
Of course.
But what we're talking about...
But those are dollars.
But
when you talk about more benefits for more people.
And you know, at the end of the day, it saves more money, because what does a work requirement do? It's only on able-bodied people with no dependents. Instead of borrowing money from China to pay somebody to sit on the couch, we now give them the process to go get a job. Every study has shown when you do that, it puts more people to work. And when they work, what happens? More people are paying into Social Security and Medicare. You will see at the end of the day, this puts our economy stronger, less dependent on China. We cut money, so we stop the inflation the Democrats are doing. This is a tough position because the Democrats have spent so much, made it so easier for people to not go back to work, and we just changed the course, shrunk the ability for exemptions on the percentage, and now are going to provide people more jobs.
Okay, let's talk about the IRS, because there had been talk of trying to scale back some of the $80 billion. Congressman Dan Bishop also tweeting on this. He says one of the $80 billion Democrats appropriated, of the $80 billion appropriated to the IRS over 10 years, the deal rescinds only $1.9 billion. You read that right. That's the kind of get that's so good. McCarthy agreed to increase the debt ceiling $4 trillion.
Yeah, let's have the full explanation. Do you know how much they're going to spend this year for IRS agents? $1.9 billion. So we repealed every single dollar they were going to use for IRS agents. So they hired zero. So I have to come back next year. So I don't get all of it repealed, but they have none for this year. I don't understand if you stopped all the hiring of any IRS agents, that is not a win in his eyes. So I'm not quite sure.
Do you have negotiating room though next year?
I'm sorry.
Do you have negotiating room though next year if this deal is still in place? I mean, what kind of negotiations are the Democrats going to want to engage in?
Well, we have the majority. We can govern and engage in anything they want to engage in. But what we have found, since we've taken the majority, we changed this country. We opened the House back up. We not only have we repealed the IRS agents they're going to have today, we put in work requirements. We're now spending less money, the first Congress to do that in a Congress before. We've now capped the president that he can't just go spend $1.5 trillion. We've made fully fund our military and our veterans, but the non-defense level goes back to 22 levels, even below that. Think about that. We don't control the Senate. We don't control the presidency. So compare us to when we controlled all three. We didn't do any of that. We spent more money. It's a new day. It's a new Congress. And it's a new Republican majority.
So the Washington Post, writing about this yesterday, said this about what's ultimately in the deal. They said the White House agreed to an inflation-adjusted reduction in direct spending on discretionary programs, but one that will be mitigated by redirecting funds from other areas, such as the money clawed back from Internal Revenue Service expansion. Spending on these programs will rise by 1% in 2025 under the deal. There's a question about whether a lot of this is just a wash, if they're just moving money from one place to another.
Let's think about this. The president increases by $6 trillion. We have always said we're going to call back money, and then we're going to let government only grow at 1%. Why? Because it's been growing at 33% with the Democrats on discretionary spending. The president said we could only look at about 14% of the entire budget to get this done. We've been able to achieve that in this short time frame. But think about what else we repealed. This is the largest rescission in American history. You can add up all the rescissions from all the other Congress. This is greater. And what are we pulling back? CDC's Global Health Fund. So no longer are we sending $400 million of American taxpayers' money to China. We continue to pull that back. That is a victory for the American public, and I'll debate this bill with anybody, because at the end of the day, is it everything I wanted? No, but we don't control all of it. But it is the biggest rescission in history. It is the biggest cut in Congress has ever voted in that process. And you know what? We've been able to do it by making the economy even stronger, by putting work requirements in to put people back to work, and then streamline NEPA that hasn't been done in 40 years. We're going to cut the red tape. So if you want to build a road, if you want to put renewable energy, you want to have our energy become energy independent, you now have it streamlined and an opportunity with a time frame for review instead of 7 years to 1.
Kevin McCarthy really trying to push this deal as if his career depends on it, which it does. For President Biden, if this deal does go through, it looks like we have to wait 2 years before another debt ceiling drama, but maybe things will be figured out by then. Maybe your Congress will actually work together. Wouldn't that be great? That is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi, my name is Bella, and this is the tip of the day. Do you know what you should always know to do? Even though if you can't go travel or anything, you could always try to find something they could do in the area that you're at. Or maybe you could probably go visit another state if you have a car or so. And you could go to different places, but it doesn't always have to be traveling to different countries and stuff. But oh my god. But whatever makes you happy, just do it. Bye!
Thank you so much for watching. If you appreciate how I got straight to the point, let you know exactly what is going on, subscribe to the channel for more Social Security updates. And if you want to see the details of the bill, what is in that 99-page text bill, I go over it in this video link right up here. I'm going to go over what the deals are, what is going to happen, how this may affect you. So if you're on Social Security, definitely want to take a look at this video here as I go more into detail about this agreement made between President Biden and Kevin McCarthy and how it affects all Americans. So click that link and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.